Hey, welcome back. So I got some cool things to show you guys today. Actually, I got a couple of things in the mail, so I'm going to be showing you those guys before we go over. It's kind of like, when I was talking about the Secret Wars figures that I needed, and I only need a couple more. Actually, I forgot the last one I mentioned. One of the other rare ones that I don't have is the Hobgoblin, and that one's a little costly, so I'm going to have to try to find a cheap one of that one day somehow, some way. And then this is actually another cool toy that's not something we've seen so much me buy on my channel here. So to check that out, we'll do that here at the end. But I wanted to show you guys some cool vintage Star Wars stuff. I just kind of dug this out of my box because I'm having to part ways with a bunch of my old vintage Star Wars stuff to just kind of make up some ground here and there. But this is the old TIE Striker from 1978, the original Star Wars TIE Striker. And this one makes kind of a god-awful noise, so I'm not going to torture you with that. And I showed this along with some other things way back when on an older video, but I just wanted to give it one last goodbye and show. And yeah, it's pretty cool. I actually picked this up at Arizona at a store called the Toy Box. Pretty cool store. And I got a pretty good deal on it. So, but, can't have everything all the time, always. And then also this bad boy, I'm having to say goodbye to it too. So it is on its way out. This is the original 1978 blue TIE Fighter. And a lot of these were the blue ones were the battle damaged TIE Fighters, but this one isn't a battle damaged one. It has all the regular panel stickers on there. And stickers on this one are actually pretty beautiful for how old it is. It doesn't look like it was really played with a whole lot. I mean, even the window here is not even yellow, because a lot of times you find these, they're all yellowed up, and there's nothing you can do about it. Also, while we're at it, I got some new comics. I hadn't been able to go to the comic store really much since Free Comic Book Day, but I was able to get to one the other day, and I picked up some pretty sweet stuff. If I can get to it. But yeah, I picked up a new Black Cat number 10 variant edition. I always like the variant editions on those, at least when they're done well. I got an Inferno number 1 variant edition, and this one is drawn by artist Mark Brooks. And Mark Brooks is kind of one of the cooler comic artists these days, except for I don't exactly like some of his shading, like how he does the skin shading. A little bit too much blush on some of these. And it's a double-sided book, so there's, of course, a whole bunch of different X-Men all lined up all at the same time on this cover. That's pretty sweet find, but I got Black Cat number 9 variant edition. I found Skybound number 3 for the Rick Grimes 2000 story that I kind of showed you a couple of, where Rick Grimes basically has a lightsaber and they get all this advanced technology. And instead of just being The Walking Dead, it's like The Walking Dead meets aliens, and the aliens are the ones that created the zombies to cleanse the planet of the human population. So that's another, I think the last of that I needed. Let's see, I picked up an old Green Lantern number 112. It's just like, old school Green Lantern. It was cheap, so I picked it up, and I didn't have it. And I've seen this new series called Barbarella, so I picked up number 3. I already had number 2. Here's Amazing Fantasy number 3, and it's kind of a new series that's going on. It's kind of a twist on some Marvel stories. Barbarella number 1, because, like I said, I only had number 2, and I didn't have number 1 or 3. I got new Bunny Mask number 4. So that's kind of cool. I haven't really read that series yet, but it kind of looks interesting. I got the new Berserker number 5. This is the Keanu Reeves comic book series that's going on currently. And then this was the Maximum Carnage. This is one of the variants. This is a Venom variant, so I picked that up. That was pretty cool. Darkhawk number 2 variant edition. Just thought I'd snag that just because it looks interesting. Looks like I got Echo Lands. This one's kind of an interesting book because it's done sideways. So the staples are on the side, and you kind of read it lengthwise, like side to side, instead of up and down or whatever else as usual in comic books. I picked up the new Lady Death, Treacherous Infamy number 2, just because I've always loved Lady Death. It's always been interesting storytelling. I picked up the new Moon Knight number 3 variant edition. Looks like kind of a cool variation of Spider-Man going on in that. And then I picked up variant edition number 2. And then, so I got Vampirella versus Purgatory. That's kind of a cool thing that they're still doing Purgatory. Star Wars High Republic number 9 variant edition. That's because I've been trying to pick up this whole series as it's kind of been going along. I still don't have number 1, so I'm going to have to go back and try to find that somewhere. And then Something Killing the Children number 20. Because, it seems like it's going to be an interesting series going forward. And another Inferno number 1 variant edition. This one's a cool Emma Frost cover. I just like the cover, so I picked it up. And then just for everybody's Halloween enjoyment, Halloween spirit, maybe for my baby back, when she gets older, Betty and Veronica #1 Halloween Spooktacular. I saw this. Every week I check this website to see what the new comic book releases are, and I saw that this one came out a couple weeks back, and I couldn't find it in any of the stores, but I finally found it at Cosmic Monkey. That's where I got most of those books from, or Cosmic Monkey. But let's get to the mail call. Of course, this is, I think, I think after this I'll need 4 more figures of that Secret War set I've been talking about from the 80s. And I never had this one before. I do have the 90s version from Toy Biz of this particular character, but hey, it's not from the 80s, and it's not part of the Secret, or it wasn't part of the Secret War set, it's part of the Toy Biz set. And I'm not trying to complete that Toy Biz set, because I do have a bunch of those from when I was a kid, but that's nothing by any means that I'm going to try to be a completist on, especially like all those crazy different X-Force figures and all the different Cable figures and all that. Like, that doesn't really interest me so much. But this one I didn't have, and I definitely wanted. So it is everybody's favorite X-Men villain, Magneto. Now this one has a little bit of paint rub on the mask, but like I said with these, I'm not trying to get these things in perfect condition. This one has, paint rub and all that. Actually, was able to, in like previous videos I showed you, I was able to pick up some of these figures in perfect condition, but it's not really a necessity for me, because I don't really care that much. But he did come with the shield. So I have his shield, and it came with some of the inserts. So as I showed you before, these shields came with inserts that kind of do a lenticular thing. So they have double-sided pictures on each one of them, and then you put them inside the shield, and it kind of does some crazy like motion effect when you move it around. See? So you can see it's kind of moving around in there. So that was pretty cool to get. But this is the one we've all been waiting for. This is something out of my norm that I usually don't get, but it kind of is a cool thing, kind of based off of one of my favorite movies from when I was a kid. So I was like, oh, let's just get it. So, put it here. Got this from Entertainment Earth. Looks like the shipping. They gave me one of their magazines, which is pretty cool. Alright. So what do we got? What do we got? What is in the box? This is the Transformers Delorean from Back to the Future, and it's a bot called Gigawatt, and he actually transforms into a Transformer robot, so that's pretty awesome. Super excited to get that, just because I've always loved Back to the Future. It was my favorite movie when I was a kid. Actually, my mom's cousin, Stevie Gibbons, of course, unfortunately, he's passed away, but back when I was a child, he worked at a video store, and he was always bootlegging VHS. Line up the 2 VHS, and you could, record a movie onto the other tape on your VHS, and he bootlegged me a copy of Back to the Future when I was a kid. And so I watched that movie 1,000 times, so I'm super excited to get this. I'm not sure if it's an exclusive to Entertainment Earth, but it's just super awesome to have a transforming DeLorean. Yeah. I don't know what else I could really say about it. Just I might open it. I might not. I might just leave it in the box. I do have some cool Hot Wheel DeLoreans, which you've probably seen before in some of our previous videos. But yeah, that's all I got from now. But make sure if you like my content to like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon.